everyone, and welcome to another video. Cassandra would like to introduce you to one of those rarities in Scamland, a scammer who speaks good English and appears to have a brain. "Hi Cassandra," he said. "How are you? Pleased to meet you. I'm Geoffrey." "I'm fine, thanks," replied Cassandra. "Found you in my suggestions list. Sorry if it feels a bit weird." "That's great. I found your smile very endearing, and I kinda need that endearment in my life right now, you know, LOL. Can we get a little bit more acquainted? If you want to." "Oh yeah, I do. I'm 57, living in the Netherlands at the moment. American though. I'm a Gemini. That's if you're into the zodiac signs thing, LOL. I have a 13-year-old daughter as well. Sorry, I had to go out. I'm 63, and I live near Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk in England. Where are you in the Netherlands?" "Oh, it's all right. You went shopping?" "No, I had to go and shut the chickens up for the evening and feed the ponies." "Oh, great. We're not so far apart in age, I guess. Ponies? You have horses? That sounds so fun. You a farmer?" "I run the family estate, so yes, you could say I'm a farmer. We have 2,000 acres of mixed arable and livestock. I breed Shetland ponies and belted Galloway cattle. I also have 3 fell ponies and a couple of retired mixed breeds." "Wow! That's wonderful. I was a farm boy myself growing up. My father had quite a reasonable farmland where we grew vegetables and fruits. We sold at local markets with my mum around the time of my adolescence and early adult years before my university school years." "Where were you living then?" "Unfortunately, he lost everything during the farm crisis of the 1980s. Oh dear, that was sad. I live in Amsterdam currently. I'm a physicist. And of course, at this stage, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be fun." And ladies and gentlemen, wait for episode 2. "Oh yeah, it was really tragic. Lost our home too then. Thank you." "You mean you're a lecturer at a university?" "I'm a consultant of sorts, in wind farm industry and renewable energy industries. No, I don't lecture, never liked it." "Who do you work for?" "I'm currently working contractually with the Dutch government." "Do you have to speak Dutch, or do they work in English?" "Pretty much helping the engineers and other young physicists on how to scale up their project more efficiently and with less fuss. Been here 2 years now." "Not really. I have very limited knowledge of Dutch, like a professional proficiency." "What's Amsterdam like?" "My daughter, Mary Jane, lives in the US with her nanny, by the way." "Why doesn't she live with you?" "It's beautiful, clean, everybody about their business," he said in reply to her asking what's Amsterdam like. And of course, that's the description of someone who's never been to the place you're asking about. "You know how Europe is mostly. You're formerly European yourself," he said, sending a smiling face. "No, she doesn't. She schools in the States." "I asked you why she doesn't live with you." "I don't get to enjoy much of the country, you know," he said. "I live in the staff quarters with colleagues mostly. It's a project that's fairly secret. You know, he's going to say all the usual stuff, isn't he? There's NDAs and all of that, so they don't want trade secrets out and stuff." "Oh, okay. Did you study physics at university?" "She schools in the US," he said, in reply to Cassandra asking why she didn't live with him. "I'm under contract, and it stipulates I live within facility." "Yeah, I did," he said, in reply to her asking if he'd studied physics at university. "Masters in renewable energy technologies, also with my doctorate." "How old are you?" asked Cassandra again. 57, said before. "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm surprised they were offering masters in renewables almost 40 years ago. What types of renewable energies do you work on?" "LOL, yeah, not necessarily same thing as years back, and I didn't get my masters 40 years ago." "Wind power. I work in a wind farm, or we're building one." "Okay, on land or at sea?" "Offshore, sea." "Okay. Seems you know a bit about my field as well, my dear Cassandra. Can I call you Cassie?" "That's what I'm saying in my head, LOL. Reminds me of a colleague way back." "No, I hate it. Did I ask which university you studied at?" "I went to Clare College, Cambridge." "LOL, okay," he said. "Studied at the University of Delaware. Not the most prestigious, but was great nonetheless. Graduate school at MIT." "Okay." "Nice," he said, in reply to her saying she went to Clare College, Cambridge. "What did you study?" "History and English literature." A proper British woman. So did you make a career out of that, Major? No, I came back to work on the estate with Daddy. I've been running it since he died 10 years ago. I started breeding the Shetlands when I was around 12, I think. Oh, that's great. Attained proper managerial experience as well. I'm sorry about that, he said, in reply to her saying Daddy died 10 years ago. Seems you were very fond of him. How about Mum? Mummy died in a riding accident almost 30 years ago. So what do you basically raise the Shetlands for, he said. Sorry about that, my dear. Been a bit of a while now, in reply to her saying Mummy died 30 years ago. Mainly for sale. I used to show them, but haven't done that since lockdown. So wholesome. You still say Daddy and Mummy. They must have been extraordinary parents. Oh, really? That's wonderful. How does the show go? Thinking of resuming it again? Probably not. It's a lot of work preparing them for showing. I can understand. How about family, my dear? My brother lives in Colchester and I have 2 nephews. That's nice. Mature ones, the nephews. Had a large family growing up, I'm guessing. Just the 2 of us, myself and my brother Charles. My nephews are 28 and 30. Andrew lives in Birmingham and works for an accountancy firm. Gordon works for an IT company in Ipswich. Nice! Family's a beautiful place to be. Good boys, I must presume. Unfortunately, I was an only child. I can think of advantages. My parents are passed as well. Dad died 8 years ago and Mum 12 years ago. Oh, really? He said. Not for me, though, in reply to her saying she could think of advantages to being an only child. I was a quiet child growing up, and a sibling would have really reduced my social anxiety much, much earlier, I guess. What advantages? No competition for attention, no annoying brother telling you what to do. Oh, the eternal sibling rivalry, he said. ROFL. Well, I wish I had a little of that sometimes back then, as odd as it may sound, LOL. We all want what we don't have. It gets boring when you don't have folks your age around. Where did you work before you moved to Amsterdam? My life was basically a triangle. Home, school, church. Brussels. Same wind farm projects. That was about 4 years ago. So you do 2-year projects. Where were you before Brussels? You must have worked in some interesting places. Yeah, I guess so. Not necessarily 2-year projects. Oh, okay. I took a break for almost 2 years before starting at Amsterdam now. Okay, to be with your daughter. Worked in the United States privately after school for a decade before I fully transitioned into renewables and particularly wind energy industries about 20 years ago. Yes, mostly to be with her. How old is she? But I got bored not being useful, so I returned to the industry. Oh, you were going to do something else? A lot of people change careers in their 40s or 50s. I've never even thought about it. This state has always been my life. I'm a partner at a renewable energy consulting firm now, working contractually with a few private companies, but mostly for countries trying to change their power industries for the better. I can understand, my dear. Physics has been my life, even when as a little boy in my dad's farm. Animals were always my life, especially the ponies. You must be one of the few people that's read A Brief History of Time. Unfortunately, our man didn't answer that. As long as one is happy doing what they do, that's all that matters. And in reply to her asking how old his daughter was, he said 13. I didn't start a family early because of my career. And guess what, guys? My ex-wife had passed 6 years ago to breast cancer. I'm sorry. She was only 50 at the time. It's all right. God gives and takes. Thank you. I'm religious too. Roman Catholic. You? No. Okay, but you got a good heart, and obviously have a beautiful mind on your shoulders too. That's very kind of you. It would be lovely to talk to you, but it's getting late now. Yeah, it would too, but I can't actually do that here, especially video calls. Oh, what a surprise. NDA and espionage regions, according to the state government we work with. Maybe when I get on holidays and go into Amsterdam City. Oh dear, that's a shame. You can't make a voice call. LOL, I guess. The facility can intercept on calls made or received from here. It's really a project that's still under wraps, and it would be a shame to lose the contract due to a call, and they thinking anyone from my team is leaking it about to leak trade secrets. Okay, it was just a thought. Those are the constraints of working with a state agency as a contractor, but apart from that, they're the most chill to work for. It's all right. You could send me voice notes of your voice anyways. I'd love to listen. I never did ask. You're single? So Cassandra sent him a voice clip.
Oh, I mean like this. It would be lovely to hear you as well, wouldn't it?
Adding underneath, yes I am, in reply to him asking if she was single. You're Welsh or Scottish, he said. Neither, I'm English. Proper English. Aha, beautiful accent. Are you going to send me a voice clip? You sound like my elementary school teacher back in the day, you know. Lovely woman, Miss Albright. She was English? Yeah, I would, but not right now, he said. I'm around some people at the moment, Dutch colleagues. Don't be daft, it only takes 5 seconds. Okay, mine was 6 seconds. Yeah, she was from Ipswich, I think. Anyway, if you're going to ask me for a clip of my voice and not return the courtesy, I'm going to go to bed. That was most ungentlemanly, and I don't like it. I'm not being silly, my dear. I'll send you one anyway, he said, hoping that she wouldn't spot his accent. Just with a person that could report me sending voice notes. And yes, folks down here are too much in their feelings. Remember, this guy works for some Dutch organisation building a wind farm. He's not guarding sensitive military secrets. If you won't return the courtesy, I'm off to bed. Good night. Reported for sending voice notes. I've never heard anything so ridiculous. There are people actually employed by Dutch folks, the contractor, to make sure secrets are not leaked. Hey, don't be. Okay, let me get to a safe space, okay? All good now. Give me a minute or two. Okay, I'm going to bed. Good night. And so, well, you're here. He tried. This was the first one.
Hello, Cassandra. How do you do? Good evening. That was a bit rough, wasn't it?
I can't really hear either of those very well, replied Cassandra, so he thought he'd try again.
Habana is a bit light. Can you hear me better? I'm sorry, I really don't have much to say, but have a beautiful night, have a beautiful evening, sleep tight, and sweet dreams, I guess.
Okay, thanks, I can hear that, replied Cassandra. It's a little bit pitchy while listening, he said, echoes from the room and all. This is quite generic. You live with your brother, Charles? I guess I didn't act too daft this time, LOL. It was beautiful talking to you. I thought I told you he lives in Colchester. I live near Bury St Edmunds. Oh, yeah, you did. Sorry about that. That's okay. Good night for now. He sent a photograph of a young lady playing a guitar. That's my daughter, MJ, he said. Obviously, I did a reverse image search. That was a young lady who was 18 and whose family are on Instagram. Mary Jane, he added underneath, sending a photo of a man and a much younger young lady. Good morning, my dear. Hope your night was blissful. Good morning. It's very damp here. I think it must have rained in the night. What kind of weather are you having in Amsterdam? Are you having the heat wave like most of Europe? Oh, I see, he said. Hope you slept good anyway. 21 degrees Celsius right now. Amsterdam, Google informed him, has a temperate maritime climate. But compared to London, it's slightly warmer in the summer and cooler in the winter. What are you doing this morning? Had breakfast yet? The vet is coming soon to TB test the cattle. What are you doing this morning? Guess what? Going through the agenda for the week. Replying mails. Oh, you have cattle too? That's good. Didn't I say we have a herd of belted Galloways? Oh, I see. Didn't catch that initially. It's all right. You do have employees too, right? I have a housekeeper, a farm manager and a stable hand, and we hire in occasional staff if we need them. Okay. You make dairy products from the cattle too? Or they just raised for beef purposes? No, we don't. We use them solely for breeding and selling on. Oh, okay. So, what you having for breakfast? Oh dear, here we go. We've gone from physics to what are you having for breakfast? I think this is going downhill. I had breakfast hours ago. What are you having? Had sprinkle bread and some eggs earlier as well. What's sprinkle bread? It's a common Dutch meal. But what is it? She asked. So he sent a photograph of some bread with chocolate sprinkles on. Goodness, doesn't look very healthy for breakfast. The vet is just arriving. I have to go. One can indulge once in a while now, he said. Oh, OK. Get back soon when you can. I'll be waiting. Adding underneath, it isn't as sugary as it looks, though. I think it probably is. The vet just left, said Cassandra a few hours later. Oh, he took a while. Oh, yes, we have to catch each one, and he has to take the test. It takes time. The farm manager put them in the barn for the night. Oh, OK. Thought you did the catching today. Would have taken a lifetime to get them all. How many in your herd? We have 28 at the moment. That's a fair amount, he said. We'll be selling some on in September. That's good. You hope to reinvest in the coming year, or just breed and sell? Mainly breed and sell. OK, makes sense. So how are you doing today? Same with the Shetland ponies, but that's more of a hobby, really. I've been doing that since I was a young girl. You must know how to breed them very well now. I like to think so. Have you been busy today? Yeah, I have actually been. That's why I haven't been on here much. Oh, don't be so modest. I wanted to ask, have you been married before now? Sorry if it sounds intrusive. No, I haven't. I had a few near misses when I was younger. OK, dear. So, how about on Facebook here? Ever had any relationship here? Yawn. How can you have a relationship on Facebook? I couldn't have a relationship with someone I've never met and never even talked to. Like, met someone here, I mean. It's OK. You ask a lot of personal questions that I'm not sure are any of your business, said Cassandra. I'd asked if it was intrusive. You needn't worry about answering. I'm only trying to get to know you and make good conversation. It's all right if you don't intend on answering. I don't. Tell me about your daughter. I can hear you shouting it out, LOL, he said. She's in high school, getting into her teenage years, so she's getting a bit stubborn now. Oh, I was hoping you'd tell me a bit more than that. What's she like? What does she like doing? We normally hang out when she was younger, going on trips, hiking and stuff. She's an intelligent girl, quite inquisitive and quick-witted. Now imagine a quick-witted girl that's very confident in herself and also stubborn too. She's happy, full of life. Most importantly, she loves her father, and I cherish that much. You'd love her, sweet and stubborn, such an incongruous mix. I'm sure she'll go far in life. Yeah, I'll always be by her to guide her. I have to go into Bury for an appointment. I'll be back later. OK, dear, have a great time. Can you send me some pics of you while you're out? OK, I'm home, replied Cassandra. My pic is on here. I have another one somewhere that my housekeeper took. Oh, I found it, she said. Cassandra being in the happy position of having 2 photographs, so she sent the second one. You look beautiful. Love your eyes, he said. Welcome back. I was a little busy earlier at work, so couldn't reply back on time. That's OK, I'm doing some office work now. What are you doing now? They cross-posted on that one. Oh, OK, seems you're busy yourself. There's always something to do here. I can understand. You run the place and all. Did you have time to eat lunch? Usually, yes. Do you? Lunch, yes. Yes. I have not, actually, he said. So Cassandra sent a smiling face. I'd just eat dinner instead. What kind of accommodation do you live in? Do you have your own place with kitchen facilities? This emoji is almost expressionless, he said. Isn't it a smiley face? Replied Cassandra. That's what my nephew told me it is. Not really, just like a hotel room, the bedroom, bathroom. Oh, so you have a canteen or something where you eat. They make the meals for us. There are in-house cooks. And then, in reply to her saying her nephew had told her it was a smiley face, he said it's not too smiley, really, sending an even more smiley face. That looks like a silly grin to me, replied Cassandra. Something like this is better, he said. LOL, teeth isn't showing. This one looks rather sarcastic, like someone is making a mockery of you, he said, re-quoting the one Cassandra had used. Well, I was told it was a smiley face. Sorry if you don't like it. I didn't say I didn't like it. I'm only just commenting on it. OK, whatever. I have more important things to worry about than an emoji. Hey! Are you annoyed by that? They're for kids, really, aren't they? I know, of course. I'm literally only just making a conversation with you. It's all right. Tell me, continued Cassandra, why you decided to study physics. Did you ever come across Richard Feynman? Wasn't he at MIT? Daddy knew him after the war. And for those of you screaming at the screen, no, he wasn't. He was at Caltech. No, I didn't. he replied. He'd died years before I started out my graduate studies, too. Oh, OK, you must remember the first space shuttle disaster. Remember, this man's 57, and that happened in 86. He would have been around 20, I think. You were probably at university then? Yeah, I'd seen it on the news then. What about it, though? He added. I thought you'd remember the dramatic TV broadcast where he demonstrated the cause of disasters. You were studying physics at uni at the time. I've never forgotten it.
Seconds at least, and more seconds than that. There's no resilience in this particular material when it's at a temperature of 32 degrees.
I didn't watch much TV growing up, said the man who said he might have seen it on the news. To this day I rarely do watch the news. Too much agenda's being pushed. Oh, OK. Had dinner yet? Just having it now, to save you asking. Chicken casserole, and yes, it's yummy. What about you? That really does sound yummy. I have to make a graphic with yummy on it, don't I? Oh, look, I just did. I had some Brussels sprouts with buttery fish. Good morning, said Cassandra the next day. Good morning, my dear. Hope you had a restful night. Hi, you there? I was outside with the farm manager fixing one of the stiles. OK, my dear. Didn't hear from you all morning. Just wanted to know how you were doing. Some of us have work to do and don't spend our lives online. LOL. Of course I know. I was only asking because I care about the person I've been chatting with for the past few days. That's very kind of you. You're welcome. How's your day going? It would be lovely to speak to you properly. And in reply to him saying, how's your day going? She said, I just told you. In reply to her saying, it would be lovely to speak to you properly, he said, in what way is that? And in reply to her saying she'd just told him how her day was going, he said, is it favourable or stressing? What way do you think? To call you and speak to you properly. Is my day-to-day work. I run the estate. There's always something to do. I know, my dear. I'm beginning to think you don't want to talk to me, replied Cassandra. No, I'm just busy at work, Cassandra. But you don't work 24/7. I'm just about to have lunch. You could talk to me now. No, I don't. OK, so what are you having? Some sausage rolls and a salad. That should be tasty, he said. You made them yourself. You know, is this really the same person that claims he's a physicist? No, my housekeeper made them. I'm just heating them up. OK, send a picture if you can. Oh dear, yawn. And that was the end of a beautiful friendship, because there's only so many times a girl can stand being asked if she can send a photo of her lunch. OFGS, the sausage rolls, not the Mona Lisa. Grow up. My goodness, he said. Why are you so rude for little to no reason? Why are you so childish for little to no reason? I'm sick of men I meet online asking me what my favourite colour is, or asking me to send photos of my lunch. So boring. Because a child's heart is the window to his happiness, he said. Well, you can't equate everyone the same. Men will always court women. It's been that way. You're too impatient and too old to be acting this rude. It's unacceptable. You can simply stop chatting with me. Have a good day. If you want to court a woman who is happy with childish behaviour, then go away. Talk to me when you're feeling better. Bye, he said. Goodbye, replied Cassandra. I thought I'd met an intelligent physicist who could have proper adult conversations. Guess I was wrong. A man shot himself in the foot and replied, well, I can. So you'd prefer I talk quantum mechanics with you instead? Learn to have a little patience. You're not a teenager. Learn some manners, replied Cassandra. You're not a teenager either. Goodbye. And in reply to him saying, so you'd prefer I talk quantum mechanics with you instead? Cassandra replied, yes. I thought that was the end of the conversation. The damn man came back the next day. I'm sorry about that. I didn't express myself right, and for that I apologise for my behaviour. OK, but I really would like to know about quantum mechanics. Perhaps you could teach me the basics. Don't you think that would be more interesting than a sausage roll? For some reason typing that made me laugh. I don't know. Not all women like to hear science and stuff, LOL, he said. But OK, how are you? How was your day? Mine has been hectic. Meetings here and there. Almost through now, though. It's been busy, and I still have to prune some bushes outside one of the house windows. Can't the farmhand help you with that? He's in one of the fields checking on the cattle. Oh, OK. There's always more than one thing to do, and he finishes for the day in 20 minutes. I'm thinking of getting someone else to help in the garden once a week, especially with autumn coming and everything needing to be tidied up. He could add it to his tasks for tomorrow, or it's very important, said our man, who doesn't like to think of anyone else actually doing any work. Yes, that's true. He could, but then there'd be one less thing he could do tomorrow. We all have to work here. It isn't a holiday camp with a set rota of things to do. We do what needs to be done when we see it needs doing. LOL, you sound like a strict principal sometimes. I like that, being pragmatic about things. Oh, you think I should ask him to stay late because I couldn't be bothered to cut back some bushes? No, not that. Is that how your work is? 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and nothing else gets done, even if it needs doing? You're quite straightforward with things, he said. Or you see something that needs doing, just leave it for someone else to do. No, not at all. I basically don't have a particular time for leaving work. Meetings can come up any time, being in management and all. Okay, so I won't ask if you can get someone else to attend instead of you, because you'd know how daft that would sound. Have you worked out a time when you can actually call and talk to me? Miss Principal, he said. Oh, FGS, replied Cassandra, please grow up. Not really, except when I leave the facility here. That should be towards the holidays. Cassandra, you simply can't expect someone to be serious all the time. It's unrealistic. I've always had a sense of humour since childhood. That's probably just as well. You're going to need it, pal, because you're about to make an appearance on this channel. Sorry if it pisses you off. Well, try a different kind of humour. I have to quickly get some things done here. I'll message you immediately I'm done. Okay? Okay. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. So, did you still get the bushes pruned? I'm sorry I'd gone to bed when you sent that. I'm just going to let the chickens out and take the dogs outside. Good morning, my dear. Hope you rested well. Okay, I'll be here when you get back. I am back. How are you feeling this morning? He asked. I haven't been ill. Did you mean to send that to someone else? No, I'm just asking how you are. You have a very strange way of making conversation sometimes. Sometimes it sounds like you're picking a random question from a list. LOL, he said. You said this yesterday, she said, quoting the bit where he'd said that he could call her when he leaves the facility. That should be towards the holidays. Which holidays were you talking about? That's Christmas, he said. I can't wait that long. Just take a bus into town or go for a walk and then call me. I'm simply just asking how you were, he said, in reply to her saying he had a strange way of making conversation. I told you I haven't been ill. I know you're fine, and I'm not waiting till Christmas to talk to you. Maybe you should go away and make friends with someone else. I don't believe a grown man can't go out for a walk and make a call. You're working on a wind farm, not a top-secret military bunker. Wind farms aren't exactly secret and hidden. You can see them from miles away. Remember, I'm American, living in the Netherlands. Cultural differences. So I might be asking a little more about your general health here. Don't be ridiculous. Well, you can't see inside and their dealings now, do you? You see a bank and not know what the manager does or the documents he signs? I told you before, I signed NDAs and my company is under contract. You don't expect me to put folks' lives in jeopardy because of my singular pursuits or interests now. You see, who knew that designing a wind farm was such a risky occupation? Please understand, I live within the facility that's bigger than your farm, like an estate or something with full surveillance. The whole team does. Remember that. He lives on a facility that's bigger than Cassandra's 2,000-acre farm. Then get a bus into town or go for a walk. I'm sorry, but I simply don't believe the Dutch government is holding you prisoner, and I don't want to continue chatting if you refuse to call me. Okay, he said, in reply to her saying, going to town. I'm beginning to think there's something strange going on that you aren't telling me about. Maybe you're an illegal immigrant, not a physicist. You sound angry most of the time. Why? Because you keep telling me a load of ridiculous crap. If the Dutch government held its workers prisoner, that would breach their human rights, and the EU courts would have stopped it. Whoever said I was imprisoned, for Christ's sake? Don't you recall? I said the facility is offshore, or you got amnesia too. Don't be bloody rude, said Cassandra. You've not once, not one single time, said you're offshore. Remember, he's just told her he's on this facility that's larger than her 2,000-acre estate. You told me you're in Amsterdam. You know Amsterdam, large city on land, she said, quoting the bit where he said, I live in Amsterdam currently. You do know water in a lake is part of an estate if you actually studied geography. Oh, go away, you rude, ignorant bastard. Goodbye. Go online and browse offshore wind farms in the Netherlands. Goodbye. You're sad because you have no kids or a man. I pity you. Goodbye. You're blocked, replied Cassandra, and blocked him. And that was the end of Geoffrey Bates in Cassandra's life. But he popped up in Persephone's life. And in episode 2, I suggest you get out the snacks, because Persephone is going to run rings round him. And believe me, he tried. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Geoffrey Bates, the scammer who appeared to have a brain. Well, he did at the start of the scam. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Please like it, please share it, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again with Persephone in Geoffrey Bates, episode 2.